Well, it's just gone 9 o'clock Central African time. This is BTV News, broadcasting live from the nation's capital, Gaborone. I'm Mulibide Samoka. Let's take a look at stories making headlines. Botswana and Mozambique guarantee achievement of economic freedom for their respective citizens. The Minister of Higher Education reveals plans to cluster TVET for more efficiency in contributing to the economy.
And in sport, this year's Lefika International Relay staged at TVET Shulima Stadium in Francistown on Saturday.
And that is Tato Khosimori joining us later on a sport. Desgaman Tlababili is interpreting in sign language. Welcome and thank you for joining us. Now in our first story, President Advocate Maboko says Botswana and Mozambique will focus on the necessary investments which will guarantee achievement of economic freedom for the citizens of the two countries. President Boko highlighted this during a joint press briefing with his counterpart President Daniel Chapo in Akala, Mozambique. He said more emphasis will be put on infrastructural development, trade in fuel, among other sectors that can drive the economy. For his part, the Mozambican president said he is eager to also deepen bilateral relations with Botswana, noting cooperation on tourism and the construction of a fuel storage facility at Maputo border, which will ensure easy access for Botswana.
The president and I agree that we are a different breed of leaders. We are a new generation of leaders. We are a generation that is fixed and focused on achieving economic freedom for our people. Therefore, commit ourselves seriously and solemnly to developing infrastructure and corridors that link our countries, the rail transportation. We commit ourselves to strengthening the existing volumes of trade in fuel between Botswana Oil and Petroleos de Mozambique, sitting now at 132 million liters. We have indicated we must raise it to 240 million liters. We have some work to do, absolutely necessary, absolutely vital for our countries.
Other aspect that we spoke is in relation with the construction of storage of fuel in Maputo port, so that we can increase the accessibility of the fuel. Like, as we know, Botswana is developing, and this time they need more fuel so that they can still develop. Spoke also about tourism, that is a part of that we can develop between the two countries.
The Minister of Higher Education is in the process to leverage on different partnerships to reconfigure and transform the technical vocational education training to contribute to the country's efforts to diversify. Speaking during the Human Resource Development Council panel discussions on TVET in Gaborone recently, the Minister of Higher Education, Mr. Prince Maile, revealed plans to cluster TVET for more efficiency in contributing to the economy. Keletlele Somolakai reports.
The platform delved in-depthly on conversations about how the youth could harness opportunities through STEM and vocational education, and also explore new skills and careers in those fields to enhance global competitiveness.
We agree that, you know what, let's look at clustering achievements. Take Mau, for instance. Mau is a tourism hub, it's hospitality hub. Why can't we have a center of excellence in Mau that is basically looking at hospitality and tourism? Hansi, for instance. Hansi, we know that Hansi excels in beef. Why can't we have a center of excellence that is basically looking at, beef sector, livestock in that?
Education is a bedrock of ensuring that at an individual level, one can grow. But embracing TVET means that we recognize that we can have a transformative ripple effect across all sectors of not only the economy but globally.
Changing demands of the industry with emphasis on the need of educational alignment and rebranding of the TVET in Botswana was put under a radar.
One of the key things that we need to understand is that for a long time we made this TVET concept seem like just because you went to a brigade, you are inferior. And as a result, we got to a point whereby all these students across, they would feel that they would rather go for an unmarketable degree program than for them to equip themselves if they didn't have enough points to go do one of the top-rated programs.
Speaking to the girl child sitting in the room who is a student who is aspiring to enter into the TVET space, I would like to just say a few words to her and say, be intentional about your decision and your choice into entering into the TVET space. It's not one without its own challenges.
We need to look at the times where we are, incorporating the arts and all subject areas that will afford Botswana and Botswana of different origins in Botswana an opportunity to contribute meaningfully to the economy.
Fostering public-private partnerships and curriculum reforms, which reflects on different dynamics of the country's evolving economy, is said to be key going forward. Geletlelezwe Somulekai, BTV News, Gaborone.
The Minister for State President, Mr. Moeti Mohasa, says the revamped #Excellence Radio program by the Directorate of Public Service Management, DPSM, to be featured on Duma FM will help transform the country's public service to be responsive and better meet the needs of the people. The Minister was speaking at the launch of the radio program on Thursday. Monica Siswela has more.
The revamped #Excellence Radio program will provide a platform to build and improve the public sector that is efficient and transparent, as it will allow for an open dialogue with the nation.
Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, today marks a very key moment in our journey towards fostering a more productive, responsive and accountable public service. Through #Excellence, we are ensuring that our public officers not only have the tools and knowledge they need to excel in their roles, but also have the support and motivation to drive positive change in our nation. This program will inspire our public servants to reach new heights of professionalism, commitment and service, ensuring that the quality of services provided by government ministries and departments meets the highest standards.
The 3-hour radio program, which will air every Thursday on Duma FM starting next month, was made possible through a public-private partnership model.
We want to say thank you for being a part of it, especially today, where we declare that we're going to make it something that will change this nation in terms of the narrative around productivity, service delivery, and just pride around being a public servant or being a public service employee.
Today marks the beginning of an important journey, one that will bridge the gap between information and action, challenge and solutions. Through this program, we aim to bring insightful discussions on healthcare and societal well-being, not only to government employees, but to the people of Botswana.
Since the inception of the partnership, we have seen firsthand the impact of #Excellence. I personally have been on the show, going to speak on matters of financial literacy, among other things, and I've been grilled by public servants, asking me very pertinent and relevant questions.
#Excellence has never been, and it will never be, perceived as a mouthpiece for government, advancing government policies. But it has been, and it will continue to be, a place to shape ideas, have robust debates, and most importantly, to listen and engage with government and Duma FM's most valued client.
NMG was honored to have been considered, and also very excited to see that DPSM was moving in what we call a perfectly aligned direction and perfectly aligned with the NMG purpose and our Vision 2025 strategy.
Stakeholders have been encouraged to embrace the challenges facing the public sector and work together to make the country's public service a model of excellence in Africa. Monica Sotwaila, BTV News, Gaborone.
Kgosi Khama IV of Ngwato says plans are in place to fill up the Bogosi vacancies in the Ngwato region. This comes after the realization that there are some posts that have not been filled over a period of time, saying this disadvantages the residents. He said this at a quarter meeting in Totome on Thursday. Terema Khoeng has more.
According to Ngwato Khosikgolo, Bogosi is an institution which should be accorded the respect, be valued, and should bring peace amongst the communities. For that reason, his intention is to unite the Dikgosi in his area, which has 7 districts, while ensuring that every vacant post is filled. In his quest, he has since visited Serowe, Phalape, Mahalape, Bobonong, and Totome villages, and will continue to Tonota and Letakane within a short period in order to identify what can be done to improve those communities.
In Bobonong,
they were telling me that there are many vacant posts in Bogosi, and the reason is that everyone is fighting to become a Kgosi. I haven't heard from the Kgosi here in Totome, but I believe he will tell me the reason for the delay, so that if we are responsible, then we can speed up the process.
Yeah, then we try to speed or refill the vacancy that thing.
Residents of Totome and surrounding areas are also in agreement that Bogosi issues should be given the attention they deserve.
Bogosi kana mo metseng ye ke sa tswang go ibalolola ye yo teka bo 27 hona le mo gongwe mo go shotang mo na le diphata tsa bogosi.
There are some vacant posts in Bogosi which need to be filled up.
Di tshwanetse gore di kabiwe mme kana tse dingwe di kabiwa di hita ka go wena ka ko ofising ya gago.
Ke kopang gore gongwe le yone o ye go e sala morago thata ke ye o setseng o e buile ke kopang gore o e gatelle ya gore diphata tse di leng teng kana khotana nngwe.
I plead with you that you ensure that the vacant posts are filled up because every village needs a Kgosi.
VDC in Table Village Extension Team ya no ke re gongwe le yone o ye go e gatelela go bona gore tota ga tiego e nngwe kana tiego e nngwe ke tiego hela e lengwe ga se ya sepe ka hela ke a leboga.
Ke re tota ya nong ga re sa itse gore delimitation ya se politiki le bogosi it is blurred.
Delimitation of Bogosi and politics is blurred, and so because you were a politician, we strongly believe you will be able to address the challenge because you have experience.
To address this challenge, you'll be having experience yasi politiki le bogosi.
Khosikgolo Khama says about 7 committees have been established by the Kgosi, which include, amongst others, culture and heritage, whose sole purpose is to help improve the livelihoods of the people. Terema Khoeng, BTV News, Totome.
On his first day as the Assistant Minister of Basic Education and Child Welfare, Mr. Justin Hunyepa called on Kgolagano College graduates to utilize their Christian theology skills to transform livelihoods within communities in which they live in this country. Mr. Hunyepa made the remarks today at the 50th anniversary graduation ceremony for Kgolagano College in Gaborone. Mujeri Mukibero reports.
The graduation marks yet another milestone achievement for the college's commitment to produce well-trained Christian leaders in the country through the intensified theological training in classrooms, whereby these graduates were fully equipped with necessary theological skills that are expected to positively impact on the masses.
I say congratulations on your achievement in theology studies. As you step into the world, may your knowledge and faith guide you in saving humanity with wisdom, compassion, and integrity. The Bible reminds us in Timothy 2, verse 15, do your best to present yourself to God as one approved.
Each one of you is to return to their family property and each one to their clan. In fact, the other night I was listening to a Tswana translation that says, the Jubilee year, ke ngwaga wo monate, ke ngwaga wa tse di monate.
The day has been a lifetime experience among these graduates.
We are also made in the image of God, and that feminine aspect in our theology. They are in this. They are also part of this Mujim.
I'm well equipped with necessary theology skills, and I will keep sharpening my skills so as I become a good role model to other fellow Christians. I am equipped with necessary theology skills that I will pass to my fellow Christians. The college graduated 24 students from different disciplines in competence and training, theology, practical ministry, amongst others. Mojadi Mukibelo, BTV News, Gaborone.
The Minister of Sport and Arts, Mr. Jacob Kileben, says that millions of pula that the ministry intends to spend on content for Now TV will not only benefit broadcasters, but will ensure that it also benefits other artists as well. The minister shared this during Botswana's commemoration of the Intellectual Property Day. Solofelo Tombale compiled this one.
A concern was raised at Botswana's commemoration of World Intellectual Property Day among creatives that they are still making very little money off their content. It is an issue that the government is addressing in various ways, including a commitment to buying various types of content.
Now TV online. We are working on improving it and also buy more content. Not only the film, but also content there with the artists, the different. Even if we buy the film, make sure the artists visual artists so that we empower. The intention going forward every content on quarterly basis.
Another challenge is lack of funding for new artists to help them produce content.
How can I inject them?
If you were to inject money in artists, Botswana could tap into its vast creative potential, which is hampered by new artists lacking the money to pay for studio time. I myself benefited from being given 5,000 pula when I started out, and I have gone far.
That funding. I think we have that through the levy on technical devices, citing your Ministry of Trade. I know already there are problems there, we are applying, we're not, but also gives on a feedback, let's continue to exchange on how we restructure, how we formulate this thing so that they better serve you as a customer.
The need for fair contracts for artists to benefit from their content was highlighted.
If we don't have a contract, my advice would be to say, don't have a contract, say, it's okay. That verbal contracts don't work.
In recent times, the employment space is not able to absorb people as much as it used to. When we finished school, some of us, we just completed some form somewhere, and then TPSM would call us a month or two later, and then we were slotted somewhere, but that is not happening. So that means we need to equally protect other sources of sustenance. And one of the ways that I think that could be done is legislation that prescribes minimum terms of engagement.
The government is also committed to reviewing laws that restrict the creative sector and to supporting the growth of the nighttime economy. Solofelo Tombale, BTV News, Gaborone.
Yes, to watch BTV News. Thank you for staying with us. Now moving on. The late Tuto Rampalim, popularly known as Drama Boy Wamakeshan in the music industry, has been hailed as an icon and musical prophet in the Botswana entertainment industry. The remarks were made by government officials, family and fellow musicians at the tombstone unveiling sponsored by President Advocate Maboko in Gaborone this morning. Khorata Maranyani has more.
Family, friends,
Members of the creative industry and the general public gathered in Gaborone to pay tribute and honor the life of the late Thuto drummer boy Rampaleng. Even though his passing was sudden, Drummer Boy had positively impacted Botswana's music industry. Drummer Boy, who died in 2021, was described as a musical prophet who had impacted Botswana's music space.
Celebrate amen.
As we are here to celebrate the life of Drummer Boy, may the good Lord bless us. Thuto did not just leave me, but he left me with two of his sons, Maru and Letsatsi, who I believe will heal the wounds of losing a son.
Amen.
Trying by all means to continue his legacy, and Tatahela in the Namutel, he was a strong being. Most of the times he was misunderstood, and Lale misunderstood Yalu. He never stopped expressing himself.
You'll find a lot of love and positivity with the lyrics in Zaga.
In most of his lyrics, he sang about love, positivity, and unity, but most importantly, freedom of speech.
He wants to see freedom of speech.
The Assistant Minister of State President, Ms. Maipelo Moputing, pleaded with the public to support artists, sharing that government fully supports the creative sector.
There is political will. Don't doubt, there is political will on the government of the UDC to partner with you, to help you, but we need you. We are not the end all and be all. We are not all knowing, we are not all wise. That is an industry that you yourselves understand. We need to do better as a country when it comes to the creative industry. We need to do better.
Drummer Boy, ona asitira le mo botshelong. Ditiro tsotlhe tse dinte di ta mosala morago. Ke sone se o bona tautona advocate Maboko.
All the good that Drummer Boy has done has been witnessed. This is why President Dumaboko saw it fit to support the Rampaleng family. The young and upcoming artists in Botswana were encouraged to be inspired by Drummer Boy's journey, as he proved that talent alone is not enough, but passion, resilience, and the courage helps to stay true to art. Khorata Moranyani, BTV News, Gaborone.
Now in stories making headlines further afield, we go to South Sudan, where South Sudan main opposition party leader Riek Machar has been arrested as the UN called on all parties to uphold the 2018 agreement that ended the country's civil war. Tensions between President Salva Kiir and Machar's party escalated in March when the White Army attacked a UN helicopter. The UN has warned of a renewed civil war if leaders do not prioritize the country's interests. The US State Department has urged Kiir to reverse the house arrest and prevent further escalation. In early March, several of Machar's senior allies were arrested by security forces, which his supporters condemned as a grave violation of the peace deal. Germany and Norway have temporarily closed their respective embassies in Juba, while the US Embassy and the British Embassy have reduced staff due to security threats. Time for sport news. Tato Khosimori on standby.
Thank you, Olibile Samoka. Welcome to the last edition of Botswana Tonight Sports segment. I'm Tato Khosimorim. Let's jump straight into our leading story. VTM FC has increased the Union Flamingo Santos relegation odds, walloping them 3-0 in FNB premiership match played this afternoon at Gaborone United Stadium. VTM's fifth victory leaves them in position 10 with 23 points, while Santos' fifth loss left them still placed at the bottom of the log standings with 9 points. Let's take a look at the highlights of the game.
Tamiko ya pelo tla pasa police 11. Patla motho mo go ro se romela kwa pelo ba tata mo ya ga le kwape. Ka le ka ra jalo la le kwape tota o romela mo karolong ye kotsi. Ba bona jalo nno ya ntlha. Bafana ba di Chabane. Wash go tswa jalo mo go thabang wa tlala. Makala jalo mo go Lucas. Tadira Lucas o bola mo go Sisi. Patla motho ba bitsa le kwape. Wa go dira le kwape ba ya kopele tla pasa VTM. Ba tshameka ka botlhale be go te onside. Aba sireletsa kgathala bobedi. Aba ya tlanya le letloa. Go tswa jalo mo gore sa ba ka motshwaedi. A dire ya bobedi ya Bafana ba di Chabane. Para aba itse mo mathateng fa wa tlala. Abare tanki kyabonga. Wash adira jalo ya gago ya bobedi ya motshameko ile ya boraro ya VTM.
Yeah, bad day officing. We gave them 3 goals. Tsa ke fila gore ka ba sa di regora. Ke na sina player ya goal ko morago ke tsa gore ka ba commandile defenses and but in terms of playing the ball, the structure, the boys tried. Go leka go dira sene re ba se dire. We were let down by simple basics. Tsa go controlla sente, tsa go passa sente. Go na le di breakdown tse dintsi. But in terms of go ba pina sente, first goal when re bola ile 4 minutes, 3 minutes ba re consider goal. E be chencha sengwe le se. Tota yeo re ntse mo tlhaloganyong ya go tswa re setse re bona nka re tsela e bulegile mar. Plan ke gore let's play these games. Let's enjoy the moment. Re win, di winner di winner, di loser di loser. But it's already needs. So it's possible. Haraka di winner. Enjoy a moment or na 8 games you bury di winner.
Yeah, this is what we wanted. Return moment to get the 3 points in. We have prepared well, and we wanted to dominate from the start till the last. Really. Plan R9 go tsenya more of ball players. We are sure we'll be keeping the ball, the dominate in terms of possession. That was the plan, and also how level the game is we have not been scoring enough goals. So our plan was to get more attacking players so that we can start scoring goals.
Moving on, the chairperson of Lefika Athletics Club, Tarumo Ketsim, says they are expecting to host a competitive and high-profile event as they have included new categories in this year's Lefika International Relays. The event, which will be staged at Obetitani Chilume Stadium in Francistown on Saturday, will be used as the world qualifying, providing local, regional and continental athletes with the opportunity to qualify for prestigious global competitions such as the World Athletics Championships. Report by Ngwato.
Amongst the new categories included in this year's edition are the races for children aged 5 to 13 years, visually impaired events, as well as mixed relays.
But it's not only for the qualifying. We do have some events that are promotional, like a steeplechase. We do have hurdles, and we do have visual impaired. So who will be running 100 and 400 meters.
Fourth edition of Lefika International Relays is expected to attract athletes from 5 countries.
But the countries that are coming, because I won't talk about teams. I'll talk about the countries because these are the national teams. So Malawi is coming, Mozambique is coming, so South Sudan is already here. Zimbabwe is coming, Botswana is there. So we are talking about the national teams.
The chairperson said despite lack of event sponsorship, they were confident that they would host the memorable event.
Money is the key, but if there's no company that is sponsoring you, now it's a big challenge, big event. And I think it's of its kind in Africa. Where countries they come and they come together and compete, being invited by an ordinary club. So in the world, it's of its own kind.
The one-day Lefika International Relays will be held on Saturday at Obetitani Chilume Stadium in Francistown. Ngwato, PTV Sport, Gaborone.
In our last story tonight, Sunbet Botswana are now the official sponsors of the annual Masa Easter Cup. This was revealed at the unveiling of the sponsorship deal worth 300,000 pulam during a press briefing held at Cresta Lodge in Gaborone. The popular horse race event will take place in Maung on the 19th of April. So far, Malepa with more.
Sunbet Botswana, a company that was recently granted a license to operate locally, will be sponsoring a horse race event for the second time in Botswana, and having expressed confidence that this sponsorship will not only help Masa Horse Park sustain themselves, but will also be a long-term partnership in future.
When Masa approached Sunbet, we found it quite fitting to be part of this auspicious event. And the reason why I say that is I think you'll remember we've participated not only in this event with regards to horse racing. We have also built a healthy relationship with the Horse Racing Association. We are able to consult with them each and every time there is an event that is coming on board. So the Horse Racing Association was more than happy to recommend the partnership between ourselves and Masa. So today, ladies and gentlemen, I am quite excited to announce that at Sunbet Botswana, we have pledged 300,000 pula towards the Masa horse racing event. Now, our part in this race will not only be limited to finance. We would like to get acquainted more with Masa. I believe we've built a very healthy relationship and a friendship with them, because we want to learn more, we want to improve more. We want to improve more on the quality of horses that we see there. We want to improve the livelihoods of the jockeys that come there. We want to put on more effort as opposed to just bringing in money to the event.
When receiving the sponsorship, the race organizer stated that the funding comes at the right time with higher prize monies as compared to the previous edition.
Today marks a day we are very much grateful to Sunbet Today, they are our platinum sponsors, 300,000. And I'd like to take this opportunity to say, Sunbet, we are very thankful to you for this partnership that you just came in Rayakopana level. Masa Racing Park is proud to host a race in Masa Easter Cup. This will be our second edition. I think you remember very well last year we had our first edition here, Masa Easter Cup. So, like I said, these funds that we just got from Sunbet will be very useful to us in terms of covering all these logistics.
The competition will be held in Maung on the 19th of April, and horse racing fans will have an opportunity to bet on the horses they believe will win. The horses will be categorized into two groups of Tswana and thoroughbreds from Botswana and surrounding countries, with 155 horses expected to take part. Tsegofatso Malepa, BTV Sport, Gaborone.
And that's how we wrap up Botswana Tonight sports segment this Friday night. Thank you very much for the privilege of your time. Before we part ways, let's take a recap of our leading stories.
Botswana and Mozambique guarantee achievement of economic freedom for their respective citizens. The Ministry of Higher Education reveals plans to class the TVET for more efficiency in contributing to the economy.
And in sport, this year's Lefika International Relay staged at Wabedi Dani Chulume Stadium in Francistown on Saturday.
That is all the news we had for you this Friday. I want Sade coming up next.